Man as actor, someone who acts in the situation, is the supreme instrument by which the Logos speaks of these purposes and forces. He describes the universal drama in speech and significant movement. In this sense, the actor's mystery, degraded as it is in the marketplace, truly belongs before the high altar. Articulate in word and gesture, man is the medium through which the word is made flesh and dwells amongst us. And if you remember, we talked last time about the way that the theatre develops through ritual and through the gods and the myths that were represented in the villages, usually animal-based, animal masks, animal gods, slowly become half human, slowly become human, but with still the same animal qualities behind them. I think we need to stop for a little break now. Is that possible?
Okay.
Who said that he preferred radio because the pictures were better. The chorus can describe literally and build for us on the stage in front of us. Remember, Shakespeare's stage would have been bare. They'd have had props but no scenery. So that it's literally black curtains and pillars, and the pillars were always there and were painted with the gods, because of course the gods were muses that were being referenced. So, man is the medium through which the word is made flesh. The opening lines of Henry V, wrapped up in the poetic conventions of the chorus, point to the true purpose of theatre. Who would like to read this for us? Great. Well, there you go. Thank you. Off you go.
Oh, for a muse of fire that should ascend the brightest heaven of invention, a kingdom for a stage, princes to act, and monarchs to behold the swelling scene.
There you go. So there we have it, literally, for a muse of fire that would ascend the brightest heaven of invention, the kingdom for a stage, and princes to act, monarchs to behold the swelling scene. The muse of fire, that Heraclean creative force, works in the substance of the world as it posited to bring forth to play. In the beginning of philosophy, way back in ancient Greece, there were many theories as to what was the ultimate substance of the world. Some people said it was moisture, some people said it was earth. One very famous philosopher, Heraclitus, said that it was fire, energy. Remember, they didn't have our references. They couldn't speak about energy in any sort of abstract sense. They could only reference it in terms of what they knew. So that, you know, and they talk about the elements, they're talking about liquids, solids, gases, and energy. You know, they're talking about matter in its fluid state, in its gaseous state, or its energetic state. That's what they recognized around them, you know. And then you go into the Chinese system, they have a five-fold element. They say some things are alive. Let's have wood in there as well. So you've got earth, air, fire, and water, and wood. It tickled me as a child when I learned that, but of course it's really quite logical. Some of those elements actually embody life. You know, they change. I was talking to Eugene once, and he said, well, that's very true. If you put a rock down, and you come back 3 days later, the rock should still be there. Or somebody's moved it. It hasn't moved itself. And if you come back in 200 years time, the rock should still be there. Unless the weather's moved it or something like that. But if you put a plant down, and you come back in a few weeks time, it will be very different. It may have died, it may be bigger, it may be smaller, it might be a different colour. That's fascinating. There's something about a seed or a plant which is quite different to the rock. It's got a vegetable level inside of it. Put an animal there, and as soon as you let go, it's gone. So there's a level of animation there which is gathering upward, is becoming more and more complex. So you could actually say, well, if we're talking about simple, straightforward human beings, people who were farmers and builders and merchants and things, who didn't have a realm of abstract thought that we have got, which science has given to us, and mathematics has given to us, then we're talking about simple, basic things. Then you say, inside a human being, you've got the realms of hard, physical rock. They knew the bones took a long time to degenerate, and they were mostly made of chalk, so they knew that there was minerals inside us. We have a vegetable, we actually say, if somebody has lost most of the higher life functions, they say they're just a vegetable. You know? The set of one of my great aunts, she's just a vegetable. I remember sitting there thinking, what vegetable is she? Probably a turnip. But so we say, when there's just those vegetable functions, the functions that just grow of themselves, and sort of the processes of circulation, etc., we're talking about vegetables. Vegetables have got the same sort of growth functions as that we have. That's why we eat them, and they give us that sort of quality. We talk about animation, the level of animation, and when something moves, it actually responds. We can watch it organizing itself, you know, a dog or a cat, or they vote with their feet. You know what they're feeling because where they're going. You know, they're standing by the fridge, you know what they want. It's quite simple. They're scratching at the door, you know what they want. The animation gives you that signal. You know, you have to talk to your plants, but they don't very rarely answer. They just either cough and die slowly, and you know, they need water or whatever. But in that level, you could say, well, those processes inside us, we are animated. We are vegetable. We are mineral. And we've also got a quality above that, which you could say would be thought processes. We can think, we can reference ideas and represent them by things, you know. Even if we just say, well, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sheep. We can reference something real and tangible in the world by a mathematical fact, by a fact, an abstract thought process. We can see something when it's not in front of us. Hang on, how many sheep have we got, Jack? Oh, we've got Rosie, we've got Daisy, we've got Josh, we've got... Oh, there's one missing. Right? You can reference it. Animals don't count. Primitive societies are supposed to just count by 1, 2 and plenty. But the ones we find actually have all different forms of referencing, including going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which I thought was really clever, 9, you know. So what a way of counting. Pretty good.
I was thinking the word in Chinese thing that's about the inexorability of life as well.
Yes.
Because it just won't stop. It'll find a way.
It'll find a way. Yeah.
Even if it's a plant.
It's got that marvellous thing of it actually synthesizes material and turns it into something else as well. That's the uniqueness of life. It grows from within itself, you know. Like we do. You know, we break something down and then we add bits on. If I eat lots and lots of chips, I still don't start to look like a chip. Well, perhaps a long, long time. Because the central core of me hammers it down into building blocks that it then builds my body out of, which are very similar to the ones that potato built its body out of. It takes it down to a common core of similarity and then puts that back into me. You know? So that's the level at which plants can work, and that's the level at which we're working at our vegetative processes. Right. Same again. And he says virtually the same apology. Apologies. Not anyone who even would go to the globe expecting to see ships and galleys and things, but he makes this apology, and then he starts to describe it in such a way that you do start to see the images and you see the emotions as well, which is actually carrying the day. So piece out our imperfections with your minds. So fill in other words, all the things that we haven't said by what you know deep down inside we should have said. Oh, for a muse of fire that should ascend the brightest heaven of invention. A kingdom for a stage, princes to act, and monarchs to behold the swelling scene.